Get ready, Apple fans, because the end of 2025 is shaping up to be a major moment for your smart home. We're talking about two devices that are long overdue for a serious upgrade, the HomePod Mini and the Apple TV 4K. These aren't just minor tweaks. These are essential updates that could fundamentally change how you interact with your connected life. We've heard the rumors. We've seen the gaps in Apple's current lineup. And frankly, it's time for Apple to deliver. Think about it. Your HomePod Mini, the unsung hero of your HomeKit setup, is running on silicon that's practically ancient in tech years. The current model is based on the same system and package as the Apple Watch Series 5, 5 years old. If you're a dedicated HomeKit user, and by that I mean you have 50 or 60 devices blinking around your house like I do, you know the Mini is your central nervous system. It needs to be fast, reliable, and future-proof. Then there's the Apple TV 4K. It's brilliant, yes, but it's been visually stagnant for ages. It handles streaming like a dream, but Apple is clearly eyeing a bigger role for this device, the ultimate brain of your smart home, a true gaming companion and the perfect foil for the impending wave of Apple Intelligence features. To do that, it needs a massive internal overhaul. Apple's rumored November 12th store refresh only adds fuel to the fire. Are they clearing the decks for the holiday rush, or are they priming the stage for these game-changing home products? Let's dive deep into exactly what we expect from the HomePod Mini 2 and the next-generation Apple TV 4K when they might drop, and whether you should resist the urge to buy anything right now. HomePod Mini 2. This device desperately needs an update. While we got a splash of new colors a couple of years ago, the internals remained locked in 2020. That has to change. The most critical upgrade? The chip. Moving away from that aging S5 means we should be looking at the S9, or maybe even the S10 processor. Why does this matter? Instantaneous response, better efficiency, and, crucially, improved sound processing. The current Mini is amazing for its size, but imagine squeezing in significantly better audio, crisper highs, richer mids, and punchier bass. Much like the rumored improvements coming to the AirPods Pro 3, packing that into the same compact form factor would be a massive win, especially if Apple manages to keep the price tag around that magical $99 to $100 mark. Now, let's talk connectivity, because this is where the HomeKit future lives. The current Mini is stuck on Wi-Fi 4 in 2025. Unacceptable. We need to see a leap to Wi-Fi 6E, offering vastly superior throughput across your network. This isn't just for faster music streaming. It's vital for managing a complex, demanding smart home network. Add to that upgraded ultra-wideband chips and better Bluetooth connectivity, perhaps aligning with the N1 chip generation we're seeing in the latest iPhones and iPads. This seamless interconnectivity is how Apple solidifies its ecosystem, ensuring everything talks to everything else without a hiccup. Will the HomePod Mini 2 get Apple Intelligence? Probably not the heavy-duty on-device processing we anticipate for the new flagship HomePod, but it will certainly get a performance boost that makes everyday tasks, timers, simple queries, and music control feel snappier and more reliable. Apple TV 4K, next gen. Now, let's shift focus to the device that often acts as the other major HomeKit hub, the Apple TV 4K. If you haven't owned one, you might scoff, but once you integrate it into your ecosystem, you realize it's not just a streaming box, it's the backbone of your digital living room. It's light years ahead of a Fire Stick or your TV's built-in OS. The current model runs on the A15 Bionic, which is still powerful, but the roadmap demands something new. We're expecting a jump to either the A17 Pro or the A18 Pro. This transition is the key to unlocking the next level of capability. More power means more RAM, and this is where the Apple TV becomes a genuine multi-tool. The current 4 GB of RAM is limiting. We absolutely must see an upgrade to 8 GB, maybe even more. Why is this a game changer? Because Apple's vision for the Apple TV is expanding far beyond just watching Netflix. With Apple Intelligence on the horizon, the Apple TV needs to become the central security and control panel. Imagine flawlessly viewing your HomeKit cameras, interacting with your doorbell feed, and adjusting ambient lighting, all processed instantly on the TV itself, leveraging that new powerful chip and increased RAM, and yes, gaming. While it won't dethrone the dedicated consoles, an Apple TV with an A18 Pro and 8 GB of RAM turns it into a vastly superior casual gaming device. With 808 titles available on Apple Arcade and the App Store, better hardware means smoother frame rates and the ability to handle more complex graphical loads without breaking a sweat. It solidifies the Apple TV as the true jack-of-all-trades media and home control center. Connectivity updates will follow the HomePod Mini's lead. Support for Wi-Fi 7, likely Bluetooth 6.0, and robust Thread capabilities, making it the absolute bedrock for Matter integration. Everything points to Apple wanting the Apple TV to be the smart home's brain, running tvOS 26 seamlessly alongside these new hardware capabilities. Should you wait? Here's the million-dollar question. Should you wait? This is where the two devices diverge. For the HomePod Mini 2, the answer is a resounding yes. Wait. The current model is functionally obsolete in terms of processing power and connectivity standards. If you're buying into HomeKit or expanding your footprint, waiting a few months for the substantial performance and efficiency gains of the next generation is a no-brainer. Hold off on that purchase. For the Apple TV 4K, the decision is more nuanced. If you currently own the latest generation, you can probably ride it out comfortably. The A17 is still fantastic for pure streaming. However, if you're pushing the limits, if you're deeply into gaming or you want the most future-proof, powerful HomeKit hub possible, then waiting for the A17 Pro and that crucial RAM bump is worth it. That machine will be the true smart home anchor for the next 4 or 5 years. If you're buying new today, unless you desperately need a streamer this week, hold your breath. The performance leap that unlocks true Apple Intelligence integration on the big screen will be worth the short delay. We anticipate the HomePod Mini 2 sticking close to that $99 price point, while the Apple TV 4K, given its component upgrades, especially the processor and RAM, will likely shift to $130, $170. Depending on storage tiers, these aren't just iterative updates. These are foundational pieces that Apple needs to get right to support its massive ecosystem push into the home. The HomePod Mini needs speed and future-proofing. The Apple TV 4K needs the horsepower to become the undisputed smart home brain. What camp are you in? Are you a long-suffering HomePod Mini user desperate for an S9 chip? Or are you sitting on an older Apple TV, ready to jump on that A18 Pro when it finally arrives? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you made it all the way to the end of this deep dive, and drop a dolphin emoji so I know you're committed to staying ahead of the Apple curve. If you're buying new today, unless you desperately need a streamer this week, hold your breath. The performance leap that unlocks true Apple Intelligence integration on the big screen will be worth the short delay. We anticipate the HomePod Mini 2 sticking close to that $99 price point, while the Apple TV 4K, given its component upgrades, especially the processor and RAM, will likely shift to $130, $170. Depending on storage tiers, these aren't just iterative updates. These are foundational pieces that Apple needs to get right to support its massive ecosystem push into the home. The HomePod Mini needs speed and future-proofing.